Welcome back. You thought I was going to scream. You thought I was going to scream. Yeah, I didn't.
Taste test?
Yes! Toss it! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Oh, I've had this.
I'm going to devour this guy.
I've had this.
Why did I close it on you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this reminds me of primary school.
Yeah, fact.
No doubles.
That's like when you make the my waddy just a little bit too strong, but you leave it that way because it's tops.
Gee, save some for the rest of us. How about that?
No doubles.
No doubles.
Jeez, on
no
the
triples. Jinx,
One.
you owe me a bleeding fruit chew. Right, 8.5.
Yeah,
Something like that,
for
yeah.
price as well.
Yeah,
How much?
99 cents a big
99
addition.
cents.
99
Tiny
cent.
ball. Tiny ball.
Also true.
How much minutes do you think it is?
275.
He read it. Ruining that game. What's a can? 300?
330.
So how much would you... A can of Coke is like, what, 2 quid?
330.
What?
Price-wise?
No.
330.
120.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. King.
Can of Coke?
150,
expensive.
I'd say. Easy.
No, 120.
Yeah.
Maybe in your corner shop.
Maybe
Euro.
inflated Dublin.
Like there was one stage where it was Euro.
Standard.
That was a regular. Every can nearly is like a
So for
Euro.
1 quid, it's
There's no way it's
275
gone beyond
mils, not
120. I believe. I haven't
I
bought a
would
can.
dispute that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say? 150?
I'd say in around 150, maybe even higher in some places. Depends if you're getting a chicken roll chat though.
Can I finish
Wow.
this guy?
Yeah, go for it.
So Morgan, you give it an 8.5?
Yeah.
I give it a solid 8, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think 8 from me.
that was easy.
Right. Nice.
I knew
Yeah,
that
good
would go down
beverage.
a tree.
Great stuff.
Right, what are we doing?
That's the podcast.
I finished it. It was delicious. I was so thirsty. I went to Gary, can I taste a drink before I thirsty? And he goes, yo, you thirsty?
What the hell is going on, lads? Just to give some context, it's 25 to 12. And we only clicked on
Does
the
anyone
bleeding
know
thing.
goalkeeper?
Context of that
please
important,
help.
but anyway. Yeah, so we should probably get on with the actual topic of the podcast. How about that?
Yep. So the topic of this podcast is essentially quite simple. Who was the best treble winning team? We're going to go through both teams who have won the treble in England. First one is Manchester United in the season of 1998/1999. Their manager was Sir Alex Ferguson at the time. And the treble winning team number 2 is Manchester City as of this year, 2022-2023 season. Manager is Pep Guardiola. So what the lads have in front of them here is a couple of key facts. So what I have here printed off are overall facts, individual player facts, and then a little bit on the competition facts of the treble winning. So what a treble is in England is a Premier League title, an FA Cup, and also a Champions League. There's only 2 teams to do it in England, which are Man City and United, of course. We also have some conclusion points, and the objective is to essentially pick who was the best treble winning team.
What are we going to define the best as, would you say? Like if they were to play
who
each
would
other
be
in a
who?
game, is that what you'd
Oh,
say?
that's in my head. That's
Who
just
would be who?
That
Yeah.
would be my vote.
Who would be
would
who?
Who would be who? By personnel, like who do you think? Or style?
If they played tomorrow, who would? Well, like, yeah.
Yeah,
If they played
okay.
tomorrow and they were all in their like peak when they won it, who would be who? That's my That's what I'd say.
And then also, I think we should talk about. I think it's actually probably leave it to the conclusion, but there's some very interesting points about which team is best because, as you said, like what is best defined as? It could be simply as like football legacy,
Statistically,
football
or,
heritage. It could be
And statistically, number of games
So, yeah.
won, opponents came up against in certain group stages, because this is not just Premier League, it also includes your cup competitions, Champions League, so on and so forth.
On
Yeah.
Kinger's point, I actually think if they played each other 10 times, I think it'd be 5 games each. I don't think I could pick who's a better team from the two of them.
well. That's for the moment until we go through the facts. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll kick us off with the overall facts. All right, so let's focus on the wins. So Manchester City won 42 games across the 3 competitions in question. That's a 73.7% win rate. Man United won 33 games across the 3 competitions in question. That's a 57.9% win rate. Any thoughts on that?
Huge gap.
Isn't there?
That's a massive
10
gap.
games.
73.7% win rate. That is silly
Ridiculous.
in a season. That's silly. And they had a bad start to the year, let me remind you, according to everyone. Out of the title race, according to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Are you joking me?
Goals.
73%.
Did they play the same amount of games? Obviously, if it's the same. competitions,
Man United played 2 less because there was no last 16 in the Champions League that year.
2 less.
that would.
But you know, you not get further in
Well.
the League Cup than they did. You know, he got to the
Well.
semi-final, I think, of the League Cup that year.
That year
Oh,
as
this is only
well.
about the competitions in question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, only about the competitions in question.
Fair point.
Yeah, so I suppose like 42 games is significantly more than 33.
Way more. That's mad.
It's only a
They won
quarter,
that
like.
much more.
Even-
So would that mean that United wouldn't have won the treble this year if that United team were put into
Without
this year?
with
Yeah,
the
you-
points, definitely not.
You'll see it in the. They would have came third this year in the
Wow.
Premier League.
Points wise.
Yeah, 79.
And then again, I know probably preempting, but that begs the question: how good was the competition around United at that time compared to City this year?
Yeah, we have that all there. We
Yeah.
can definitely talk about it. But even the goals this year for overall facts, Manchester City scored 145 goals. Man United scored 121 goals in all competitions in
Clean
question.
sheets is interesting.
Yeah, clean sheets. The next fact: Man City 26 clean sheets across these 3 competitions. Man United 20 clean sheets. Of the 26 clean sheets, Man City only conceded 1 goal in the FA Cup, which was against Man United in the final, a penalty.
That's very good.
Would you believe? So, yeah, pretty impressive.
All the United fans in the room sweating here. It
Oh,
ain't looking good. It's not looking good.
Yeah, and David De Gea won the Golden Glove this year in the Premier League.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Most
How?
clean
Like,
sheets?
did we not get bashed like 4-0 every
18
third week?
clean sheets.
That's mad.
Still going. Take Varane out and Martinez out of that though.
Yeah.
I think like clean sheets is always given to generally those that are in around the top 4. Generally because they are generally very good goalkeepers, but they always dominate the ball, the percentage wise and so on. I don't like that they win. Like they're definitely not the best goalkeeper of the year. Do you know what I mean? While clean sheets is not just a numerical factor, just associated with
I think
goalkeepers.
Alisson statistically was, I think without his, like, you know, we did that metric, it's like points saved or goals saved or whatever. I think they would have finished like, where did they finish? 5th? 6th?
5th.
I think they would have finished like 8th or 9th or something. With
Really?
Alisson. Yeah, something weird like that with the points he won them, so to speak.
An interesting fact that I gathered from for the overall facts is Man City scored 4 goals or more on 16 occasions. 28% of their games they scored more than 4 goals. 26%.
It's mad, isn't it?
Twice as much as Man United during their treble winning campaign. They only scored more than 4 goals in 14% of their matches. Now that is crazy. 4 or more goals.
Yeah, that's mad.
Domination.
Like, that's
That's the
hopping off
quarter
team,
games,
like,
basically.
yeah.
Quarter games. One in every 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
28%. So it
We'll
was.
bash someone one in every 4 games.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And huge ones in the Champions League, even if when we go through the aggregate scores and stuff, absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
some of them are silly.
Couple bits in the scoring facts. Man City's top scorer that year, Erling Haaland, 51 goals. Outstanding, obviously. What I found really interesting, Man United's
stupid.
top scorers, Dwight York, 29, Andy Cole, 24, totaling 53 goals. So it's 2 more.
Playing with
And
the
Manchester
front two.
United play with a front 2.
Yeah,
They didn't play with
yeah.
a front 1.
Interesting.
So that is an interesting fact.
Fairly
I'd say.
close.
Yeah.
Haaland's silly.
But yeah, you'd argue it takes 2 United players to just a match. Is that like,
That too. Yeah. Which is incredible.
which is mental? Like,
Football has changed a lot though from
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
time that
it
Manchester
has.
United played a rigid 4-4-2 with 2
sticky one.
sticky, yeah,
4-4-2
with
a fluffy 10.
with as they say traditional old fashioned wingers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul Scholes, and Ryan Giggs all made double figures in terms of goal scoring in the same year. So for Man City, Alvarez scored 15 goals this year. I've only seen him on the bench. Phil
Foden
Foden
as
double
well.
Foden
figures.
as well.
Where did you
Riyad
get Thor?
Mahrez double figures.
Yeah, Mahrez is a
Gundogan
joke.
double figures, and
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne double figures. So
The
this isn't the
Foden
case.
Distribution
me,
across
yeah.
the team. Because you're looking at Dwight York and Andy Cole, right? 29, 24 goals. Very respectful seasons for having 2 centre forwards in your team. But you look at the Ole Gunnar maybe was playing fringes then, but I think he played a lot of games in behind.
15 games.
Yeah. 15 games he played.
Mm-hmm.
Only.
Mm-hmm.
And he got double figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was a killer, wasn't he?
Yeah, 12
Ole
goals
Gunnar.
he got that year.
Ole Gunnar. But then Scholesy, Giggsy, starting every single game.
Over 50 games he played.
Without a doubt. Well, then you've got Alvarez, like you said, always on the bench. Foden, according to everyone this year, poor year. Mahrez couldn't get a sniff towards the business end of the season. Gundogan's a joke. De Bruyne is a joke.
Even if you look at their actual goals, so like Haaland scored 51 of their 145 goals, so like 1 in 3.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas York and Thing, between their 53, nearly scored half United's goals.
Wow,
So
that's
between the two of
actually
them.
great spot, man.
It's
Great
crazy.
spot.
It's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And even on that, building from what we said at the player facts, 8 of Man United's players played 50 games or more. 5 Man City players played 50 or more.
Left Kinger.
Yeah, Pep Roulette.
Roulette.
Who
But
do you
yeah,
reckon the 5 players were? Ederson?
yeah, I should have put
Ruben
them down
Diaz?
there. Yeah, Diaz is one.
Stonesy.
I feel like I've seen a stat that Ruben Diaz only played like 24 games and Stones is the
Ake
same.
played a lot.
I think it's Ake
Ake played a
Akanji.
lot.
Bernardo Silva is the main one. Who's played most games for Man
Bernardo?
City
And
this year.
he was going to be let go this summer.
Who were the players then? Bernardo?
It was Ruben
Ederson.
Gone
Diaz
again
and
this year.
and Bernardo Silva were the two main
he's
ones.
gone now.
They've got the most appearances.
And Ederson.
Edison was in that list as well, yeah.
Surely.
Probably Gundogan.
Stonesy,
Uh,
maybe.
I don't think
Gundogan.
I think then it's Stones.
He was-
He only played 24 games. He
Really?
didn't actually play that many.
Is it him?
Yeah, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
So
Sorry.
yeah, it's
No.
interesting. Like even if you look at the overall facts and the player facts, it's tipping towards Man City pretty quickly.
Statistically, yeah.
Yeah.
Statistically.
So Morgan, do you want to read out the competition facts, starting with the Premier League?
I would like to do that, Gary. So, United, yeah. Total points, very low for a title winning season. 79 points they
Yep.
finished on, but very close. And I think this is where United, obviously to us, we will romanticize how close everything was. And that's why it was so exciting, the treble win. Because Arsenal finished with 78.
Agreed.
So they are 1 point behind, right? That already makes it very interesting. In total, in the Premier League, United scored 80 goals and conceded 37. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And they were undefeated in the league from December 19th onward. That's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. That's a great end to the year. But just a lot of them, I'd say, were draws, surely.
A lot of them.
Because 79 points is actually fairly poor.
Mm-hmm. They lost 4 games in the first 4 months of the year.
City, how many games did City lose in the first few games? Because they struggled at the start.
Well, you can read that fact there from Man
Oh, here
City.
we
It's
go.
Fascinating.
Here we go. Total points, City, ridiculous. 89, 10 more points, obviously, than United had. And then the runners-up, Arsenal, had 84. So it was close up until Arsenal
That's like 3
let
games, wasn't it?
let it
When
slip,
went
and
away.
then the gap widened. They scored 14 more goals than United, so 94 total scored and 33 conceded. That's substantial.
Mm-hmm.
Substantial. 94 goals is ridiculous. And this fact thrown up by G-Man is stunning. City were on top of the Premier League for Game 2, Game 22, and the last 5 games only in the whole year.
Yeah.
And Arsenal were the only team. And Spurs were on top of for game 1. That's it.
Nice.
Isn't that insane?
the board is just Arsenal
That's
red.
just Arsenal, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
Arsenal
bottom.
red all the way.
So I didn't
if
come
I'm
in
reading this-
second in the Premier League twice, and both times
For both
the
treble
other
wins.
teams with treble there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, Man United would have came third this year with their treble winning points.
Mad. And where'd they come? Third? They came third.
This year.
Yeah. Third, yeah.
As well, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
This year, yeah.
65 points, if I'm not mistaken. Could be less than that.
Brutal.
But yeah, very interesting
Mad.
Premier League
That's
stats.
mental.
Mm-hmm. Gary, do you want to bring out the FA Cup ones?
Yeah, so United defeated 4 Premier League teams en route to the final. Middlesbrough, who were Premier League at the time, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal. Scored 12, conceded 3, and then they have that historic replay against Arsenal, the old
Giggsy.
Giggsy one, yeah. Which is,
Uh-huh.
I think this is going to be the big thing we're going to talk about. It's gonna stand
Romanticised
to,
again.
United's kind of favour as the history of them games.
Can I also add, Middlesbrough beat United in the league that year as well, 3-2 at home. That was the game that they lost on December 19th. Was Middlesbrough at home beat United 3-2.
City defeated 2 Premier League teams en route to the final. Chelsea, who we know are poor this year, and then Arsenal, which
Mhm.
was in the semi-final? Quarter-final.
Mm.
No goals conceded, like Gary said, up until Fernandez's penalty in the final. So they scored 19, conceded 1.
Yeah, they bashed Burnley 6-0 in the semi-final.
Yeah, they had a nice route, in fairness, in the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chelsea, you'd fancy that. Arsenal, one-off game, you'd fancy City.
Mm-hmm.
And they're their closest competitors. And that's
Mhm.
it. You got United in the final. On that day, I actually thought City were poor, would you believe? Not poor. They were obviously good. But I didn't think they were, at any stage, going to, like, walk away with the game. Like, destroy us. Because they could. they wanted to.
When we were watching the FA Cup final, did you think that United were the only team that were going to be able to stop
I
Man City
thought-
from winning the treble? Did you take that personally as a Man United
I
fan?
honestly thought Inter had a better chance than United.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
That
didn't.
when the league was gone, like it was like I would fancy Inter before United.
I didn't. I thought United could have got back in the game.
The only thing I thought was is European football, and they've done the domestic stuff. I
Yeah.
thought they'd bottle the European one a bit.
Yeah, no, I just thought United, again, maybe ignorance on my part, but I thought United could have just got in it. And again, that Garnacho chance, if he scores that, it's a great effort. But if he scores that,
Yeah,
you just
It's
never
the way
know.
United
But that's
finished
football,
it,
isn't
like
it?
when we beat them this year, like Rashford was on fire.
Yeah.
We Martinez, like we're proper solid.
That's the thing, no
Lost
Martinez. We were actually,
Rashford lost a spark, a bit of a spark. Like so you're kind of relying on Fernandez essentially to,
And Martial.
to pull something out. You know,
Tony, ice cold, ice in the veins.
and obviously De Gea had a bit of a melt at the end of the season.
Ice in the jugs.
So it was, yeah,
Socks.
I was losing faith as it got closer to the final.
Yeah,
United form.
no doubt, man. Morgan, do you want to give King of the Sheet there? He can
Yeah,
read
go on for
United's
King of-
Champions League.
Do you bring
This
a
is
reading
mad,
glasses?
actually. I read this one. I'm glad you said this one. So Man United in the group stages finished second in the group behind Bayern Munich, and they also had Barcelona in their group. Their record was 1-2, drew 4, lost 0.
Mhm.
So they won 2 of their 6 games.
Yeah, huh?
In the knockout stages, there was no last 16, so they went straight into the quarterfinal. Quarterfinal, they beat Inter Milan 3-1 on aggregate. Semi-final, Juventus 4-3 on aggregate, which is a historic game, but I don't remember.
Roy, remember Roy
Big
Keane?
comeback, yeah.
2-0 down.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Roy Keane got suspended for the final and then
Suspended,
scored a header.
Yeah.
And in
Scored
the
twice.
final, then they beat Bayern 2-1 with the Ollie goal, so that was
Was
obviously
that a
historic.
historic game? Was it?
Don't really remember that one either, do you?
Yeah.
That is the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
In football history.
The leg.
Yeah, that and Aguero.
Yeah.
City then in the group stages finished first. Dortmund and Europa League winners Sevilla were in the group. That's actually a tough enough group.
Mm-hmm.
1-4, drew 2, lost 0. Knockout stages, they beat Leipzig 8-1 on aggregate. Oh my god. Quarterfinal beat Bayern Munich, by the way, 4-1 on aggregate. That's Bayern Munich. Semi-final, they beat Real Madrid 5-1 on aggregate. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's silly.
And then they scraped by Inter Milan 1-0 in the final. That is
It's silly.
nuts.
I actually think the United group is much more difficult though. A
Yeah.
Barca
No, it
and
is, it
a
is, it
top
is.
Bayern
Oh, it
and a
is.
top Barca compared
Yeah.
to a Dortmund. No
But their
disrespect to
knockout
Dortmund
is much
and
better,
Sevilla,
like-
who always get relegated down to
Yeah.
the Europa League.
It's the Bayern and Real in the quarter and the semi.
Real
It's just
one
laughing at
is,
them. Even Leipzig.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like bashing Leipzig as well is like
They
not
won,
just
yeah.
beating them.
Bashing
Like
It was
against
1-all in the
Inter.
first leg.
Inter would have been
7-0
decent around then.
second one.
And
Was
Juve.
it-
Juve were tops.
Yeah,
Tops. Zinedine Zidane was there.
Zidane,
Trezeguet.
yeah.
Inzaghi was still playing. They were a top side.
What were the legs for the Bayern Munich one? Can you remember?
It was a draw the first one. They drew the first one
And then 1-3
in every game. So they drew
Oh
the first.
my God.
They drew the last 16 first. They drew the first one in the
So-
quarters. Drew the
oh,
first
They
one in
beat
the semi-final.
Leipzig 7-0.
Yes,
They beat Bayern Munich 3-0 and Real Madrid 4-0.
if I'm not mistaken, it was
Yeah,
4-0.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Gary's right. It was all 1-all.
Yeah.
And they're all second legs, the wins, really.
Yep.
Yeah, they bashed them.
Clutch City, man.
So they must have just played them on a
Real
load of...
kind of tempts it a bit, doesn't it? Like bashing Real 4, and that was in the Bernabeu, wasn't it? Second leg.
No, at the end.
No,
It was
it?
that,
I
yeah.
remember watching.
Vinicius scored in the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
First goal. It was actually a great finish.
That's
Like
mad.
Real are like the team in Europe. They don't get bashed.
Yeah,
Never.
I
Never
think they
get-
were strong this year though. I didn't fancy them
they
beating
just
City.
don't get bashed, do they?
No, they don't. But I didn't fancy them beating City. For being honest,
I don't think you can ever not fancy them.
I know what you mean. I know what you
But
mean
they're
because they
always
are European
favourites,
giants.
like-
Yeah, European
yeah.
giants. But still, when I was watching this, I was like, they are not beating them.
I don't think I watched the second leg, to be honest.
I saw a bit of it.
I'm going to watch a bit of the the draw.
So if we step away from the facts, even before we go to the conclusion points, if we talk a little bit about how football has developed from now, it's the same with anything. It's the same as business. It's the same as cars. It's the same as, wealth nearly. As time goes on, things get better. Clubs get better. They get better infrastructure, better organization. The standard of football has improved hugely in, like, that, what was that, 1999 was that team? Like, that's 23 years ago. What's football going to be like in another 23 years? People are going to be comparing this Man City team to another one. Like, is it difficult to compare to, like,
On a once-off game, yeah, because it's like the City players now are fitter than the lads were back then.
Yeah,
They're stronger
I would
and all.
agree.
So
Yeah.
they'd probably beat them in that sense. But if you're judging the actual achievement, which is based on you can argue like the facts, the statistics, and also the legacy of the games. Now, the legacy benefits United because it was 23 years ago, but the legacy of these City games we're not really going to see for another 10 years. Yeah. Although, like, them coming back against Villa last year was an unbelievable way to win, better way to win the league than this year. So if they done that this year, that would like United's, like we said, are all historic games. The cup semi-final against Arsenal, the Juventus one, and the Bayern Munich one, and you actually have a fact then that they done all the 3 important games. Was it within a week or 10 days? So within 10 days, United had the cup semi-final.
Yeah.
They won the Premier League, was it?
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, won the Champions League and won the FA Cup. Who did they beat in the final again?
In the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Newcastle,
yeah.
Newcastle would have been
I
strong.
would
then as well.
love it if we beat them. That's that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Was that the league or cup?
No, that was the league. That was
it?
I thought that was the league. Yeah,
Keegan.
they were challenging for the league.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a melt. But yeah, they had them 3 games in 10 days, whereas where were City's? I know the cup and
There was nice
they had the
spaces
league
between them all.
They had the league one, and then they done the cup a Sunday and a Sunday. They won the thing and the thing within a week
That's
of each other.
from my point of view. I'd be like, it's not as exciting, is it? But it just shows how comprehensive they are. Job done. Won the league. Tick that off.
So is that better than they?
Yeah,
done it?
like, job
They've
done.
Done it easier.
Solidified that earlier.
They have better players, definitely.
Better depth. Without
In
a doubt.
comparison to the players in the league, I think they have the best player in every position in the league.
Yeah,
And you could literally go the best goalkeeper,
yeah. Back four.
best centre half, best right full. Who's the left full?
Ake.
Ake.
Oh.
Probably the best left full. Best centre mid times like 4. Best wingers,
Strikers are
best strikers. Like they're just best manager. So I think that gives them an advantage.
That was one of the conclusion points here.
United also had that at the time, didn't they? United had the best player in the league, you'd say, in every position. Like Neville, their centre half was top, the keeper. So
What was their thing? It was Neville.
Stam, Ronnie Johnson, or who else would have been centre half?
They didn't have the best centre forward. Alan Shearer was the best centre forward back then.
That's a fair point. Everywhere else, they probably
But they
did.
also had 2 of they were unbelievable strike partners though.
Well, they had 4 centre forwards, and this is what I was saying here. Man United relied heavily on a core group of players with little rotation, other than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah.
That was the only real rotation in that Manchester United squad.
Yeah.
Whereas Man City have a strict rotation policy, which even allowed their second choice goalkeeper to play in the FA Cup final. That just shows the squad depth now. Imagine Ferguson dropping Schmeichel for the FA Cup final.
Who was the second choice goalkeeper?
Wow.
I'm going Ronnie Johnson.
No, that's
No,
not
I have a clue.
He was top centre half.
I haven't a clue.
What was his
That just
name?
shows.
There he just has it, guy.
Barthez. Was it Barthez?
No,
Oh, Barthez was 2002, 2003.
You might
He
not be
wasn't,
wrong,
he
to be
wasn't.
honest. No, I don't think so.
Nah, he wasn't. I think he was brought in
But that's mad how
2002.
we don't even know. Well, like you won't. In the
I
23
think,
years,
I
you won't
think
know
he
your
was
man Ortega.
a black-haired fella. He had like a little.
Vander something.
He had a little
He was
comb
Dutch.
over.
It's not your man who had the melt.
No.
To see you or
That's
something
Roy
like
Carroll, no?
No, this is young. Remember your man went straight under his leg?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was him. I don't think it was him.
or something.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
that was earlier 90s.
Cusack?
Thomas Cusack.
Cusack,
I'm
tell you what,
going to find
legend.
out the United squad.
Yeah, like I have that here in the conclusion points as well. Manchester United had to secure all 3 trophies within 10 days, and this included games that are probably the most well known in club football. Arsenal in the semi-final of the replay Champions League semi-final against Juventus, and then obviously the historic final against Bayern Munich. But I have here really by facts, figures, and general conclusion, Man City's treble winning feat is more impressive than Man United's, as they beat them in every single statistical point to the button. Hey everyone, sorry for disrupting the podcast. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe on YouTube. Plus, they secured the Premier League earlier.
But they broke 112 financial fair play rules.
Oh.
But eat that.
Or did they?
Or did they?
Yeah, they didn't get done
Or did
for it.
they?
They didn't get done for it.
Yeah, innocent until proven guilty. Morgan, what would you conclude? First of all, who would win in a once-off game? Who would win in an NBA playoff? And thirdly,
NBA.
7 games.
Oh,
And then thirdly, what's more important for football? Because as Gary said very well, as you said as well, Morgan, so you said their fans and the impact of their fans on world football is 0. And you said earlier about Manchester United, I can't remember because I went to him first. What did you say to me earlier? It made a lot of sense
on
to
the
me.
podcast.
No, it was at home about the treble winning team. Oh, I can't remember what you said, man. He was obviously slating the fans, but you were saying something. Was it more about it wasn't the romantic side? Never mind.
I think
It's
it
all right.
was something on the. I think it was that something along them lines.
Sorry.
One
People-
top game.
Sorry, Morgan. This is what it was. You said that people have already forgotten about Man City win the treble
Yes.
already.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just going to happen.
Yeah.
And now everyone was like, all right, grand. It didn't seem as much of a feat, but I don't think the media helped with that either. Generally, the media would hype all this. I seen very little about them win the treble. It was like all I've seen. Sorry, Daly, but all I've seen since City have won the treble, and this is honestly not me taking the piss.
No, I know
is
exactly
Jack
what you're
Grealish drinking? That's it. All I've seen. No one cares about the treble. It's like, ha, Jack's pissed. Like, do me a favor.
That's TikTok culture, though, isn't it?
That's just no, but see, it's not TikTok culture. That's Sky Sports are pushing that agenda without a doubt, and I don't like it. If I'm being honest with you, I don't like City pushing it either. I don't think they've pushed it as much, but then the fans love it as well. It's like, yeah, I don't mind someone being authentic. You can see BT have like the moment the final whistle blows, you see Rio Ferdinand sprinting over to Jack Grealish. Come on, we get an authentic interview done. Like, just let him breathe for a moment, first of all, and they're just living off that clout. I don't like that. I like that he's authentic, by the way. I like that type of style, but I don't like the whole culture that's been since they won the treble, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah.
So, once off game, I think City win the game due to depth. City can mix it up. United have an off day, they have an off day, they're done. City can just change the game. You've seen the first 12 seconds of the FA Cup final. Right, lump it towards Haaland there, win the seconds, bang, we've got quality in around them. Just whack it. They have that, or they can work it wide, or they can work centrally. They can break. They've proven they can break teams down that sit and play a low block. Or if they want to come and press them, they can just pop it around them. Well, I think United were very I don't want to say one-dimensional, but they were very.
Much more character though, that Manchester United team. No,
Is there though?
I think so.
Or do we romanticize your Roy Keanes, your Paul Scholes, your Gigsies? Do we do that? I think we do.
Yeah, because you
Is there character without a doubt? But I think, the olden days. Like, you telling me De Bruyne is not a character? Just because he's not
Gundo.
bleeding, mouthing and smashing everyone up.
Yeah.
De Bruyne is a character. Yeah.
Gundo,
I look around the
Rodri.
dressing room and I'm thinking, he'll get us out of this game.
Haaland as well, man.
Haaland.
I do have an interesting thing here because I'm looking at the United squad. By the way, the second choice keeper is Van der Gu.
I said Van
der.
Vander. Yeah.
What would you describe the City squad as? An older, younger, kind of average enough age squad? I'm trying to think who, like Barlick, Foden, and
Haaland's 22.
Carson
Yeah,
probably
and-
brings it up, doesn't he? He's like 40.
And
I mean, like
Gundy.
Ederson's late 20s,
Gundy.
Gundo, De Bruyne,
Stones.
Kanji's young, Stones is like
Walker.
what mid.
I'd say they're about middle of the road.
Yeah, they're-
I didn't realize how young some of these United players were when they played. Wes Brown was on the squad; he was 18.
Wow.
Class.
Yap Stam was only 25. Dennis Irwin was 32. But like Neville was 23. Phil Neville 21. Keane was only 26. Butt was 23. Scholes was 23. Beckham was 22.
Mad.
Giggs was 24. Sorry, Beckham was 23. Jay Cruyff played with him. So Cruyff's like relation. And then obviously Cole and a few of the lads, they were kind of mid 20s. Sorry, Cole, the York or Sheringham, what I'm saying, was 32.
Is that Jordy
York was
Cruyff?
20.
Is his
I
name
think
Jordy
it is.
Cruyff?
Yeah, Spanish thing beside him. But yeah, I found it interesting how young they all were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like 23 is really young when you think about winning a treble. Like
What was Keno? Sorry.
26.
25, 26.
Peaking.
But see, like,
Yeah.
they don't play into their late 30s though.
Yeah, she was peaking then.
Back then, like,
Yeah.
very
Like
few.
Dennis
play.
Irwin, 32, is Bar Schmeichel was 34.
I'd say he was
Schmeichel was
old
34
as well,
at the
no.
time.
Character has
34.
also changed, may I add. Like,
Character?
like
Oh,
I
is
was
it?
like, there's
Yeah.
no Kenos
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, because the game's changed.
Yeah.
The game's changed. Keno was great at the time. Would he be great now? Who knows? As a player, he was tops, underrated actually. But like Gundo, quiet, character. De Bruyne, character. Haaland, character. Even you look at the likes of Grealish and all, I know he's a lunatic, but he's a character. Like you're looking around that squad, you're like, there's so much depth here. There's so much quality that can get us out of these games. When we need to dig in, we can dig in.
Who wins your playoff game then? Or your playoff tournament?
Playoffs would be tighter. I still think City would do it.
And then in terms of historic resemblance or
United definitely. Just
Currently, anyway.
due
yeah.
to the nature
Yeah.
of how the games went about, it's a lot more entertaining, a lot more edge of your seat stuff. But again, that almost takes away from how impressive City's title win was.
Yeah.
and how the media
How
presented it as well.
classy it is, and how to the media. And again, time allows for us to be like, what, like that. Watch
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes of that
First
final. It's
they
like
do it as well.
unbelievable.
No one had ever done it when they done it, so it's like, what have they just done?
Yeah.
Now it's like, God, they just.
Do you think back to like the Liverpool, the Istanbul, like, would they have rather win that just 3-0?
Nah.
Probably not. They'd probably, when you look back, you're like, well, what was it, 3-0 down?
3-0 down,
half-time?
half-time,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But But you would argue then, are they a better team than someone who just gets the job done? If the team gets the job done, you would argue are a more efficient team.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you said, it's City. So
Absolutely.
Point, man.
But that's the beauty of football. It depends what you value.
we'll have to wait 10 years to see if the City legacy lives on. And I kind of agree with Morgan. I don't. Like even the games weren't dramatic. They just bashed everybody.
Yeah,
To be
it was
honest,
Yeah, genuine.
Is that more impressive? Yeah.
but it's not. That's what I was saying during
Yeah.
the game. Like their fans, like they were like weren't beating Inter after 5 minutes, and the ignorance of them thinking they're just going to roll over a well set up team.
That's
And they're
my
just like-
issue. Like you look at the final. I
God
know
forbid if
maybe
they went 1-0 down or something.
like Inter were in the stadium like 2 hours beforehand. Like the fans, and they were on a mad one. Like it was everything to them. Where see, it's just like, did you see after the goal? That infuriates me. Like, what is the point? The trophy parade.
Did you see that actually thing today?
No.
The thing where they come out and they done each trophy, and it literally looks like they're in a school hall.
It's
there's honestly
honestly,
must
it's
be
embarrassing.
less than
It
1,000
really
people
is embarrassing, and that's one of the worst things about it. United fans are very good.
Like, do you remember Liverpool last year when they won the 2 cups?
Yeah, huge
Like,
deal.
If you like United, if they had, like, I know they won the FA Cup, I suppose, but like,
I know. Yeah.
I think that's what will kill this. In 10 years' time, you won't look back and go, "That was mental." No. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there is honest to God diehard Man City
Yeah,
fans.
obviously.
But of course, I don't know. I just think for the majority, especially for crowds, you need the majority, and people, especially with Inter Milan, Man United, Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid, like it's just course to their veins. It's like heroin in their bloodstream since they're kids.
Like,
They're just.
There was no historical game for City. Like, what was their big game this year? Would you say? Like, were they
Probably Real
ever?
Madrid semi-final,
But they bashed them 4-0. Like,
but like that's a
They
big
won our
game.
first
But
leg,
prior
though.
to
No,
that,
that's
that's
quality,
a huge leg. Like
were they even? Weren't they losing a league? Were they losing a league game? They came back to turn around. Like, I'm trying to think where they.
not really. Arsenal kind of. I wouldn't say Arsenal even balled it. They just handed it to them. Like City just kept winning games, didn't they? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Cup
nowhere near as
final, like they
entertaining.
just like beat like grand. Like it wasn't. I know
It was
came
a
back.
cagey, maybe because I had interest in it.
It was
though.
cagey, yeah, but it wasn't like wow,
No,
like that
no, it
we
was-
we were peppering them and they hit us, and then it was all.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
it was
Doesn't mean
kinda
there was
like-
no game where you're like there was no like Istanbul for Liverpool or like the United ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem, or even like the Aguero. You could argue the one they won with Aguero is a more historic.
That is
Definitely
because
so.
like
It's a
how
moment.
That is still
It's a moment.
is
Yeah.
ingrained like in Premier League history, but even their win last year like is more ingrained than this year.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely more ingraining in the brain, but it doesn't make it more impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like
Did City ever look like losing this year? Anything? Bar the first couple of games where the media wrote them off.
in fairness, I was like G Nev. I've always said they were going to win this year. Even when I always remember chatting to
I
like,
think
people
we
in
said it on
house
the
and all that.
podcast, and I think I said the same
Yeah,
thing. I said
I
I
was
think
like,
Arsenal, there's
catching.
no way they have that
You did.
longevity.
So
I'm
Jordan pulled
surprised
in
how
a
far
point.
they got a lot. Arsenal. I thought they'd go away or like I thought.
Yeah,
they'd be
they
gone
actually
by 10
done
games.
well.
Fairness, like
I know this is kind of a little bit off, but do you think Arsenal had a good year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who says
yeah.
no is silly.
Not as good as United.
That's very interesting.
Not as good.
Play
as
on that. I'm not
'Cause they
disagreeing.
won it,
I just
'cause
want
they
you to
won
play
it.
on
Same
it.
outcome in the league, essentially.
yeah,
Top 4.
I'd agree.
Didn't win a trophy. United won the Carabao Cup and an FA Cup final. I'd rather be Man United than Arsenal.
Yeah,
At the end of it.
Yeah.
At the end of
yeah.
it. They had more drama, they had more excitement. They thought they were in it. We were never really in it.
No,
we were in
yeah.
it for, remember that week we were in it and then we were off it.
We're on the
But
quadruple.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
I probably agree with you. Like, as in, end of the day,
Exactly.
United.
But
If you
our
were to present
ride was
those-
less
Yeah.
exciting.
If you were to present those two positions at the start of the year, I think they would have took United's 2 cup finals,
yeah.
Yeah.
a winner's medal, and then Champions League. I agree, man.
But then I think that's a good way of comparing City and United's trebles. That like United's treble was like that, entertaining the whole way, and then City's just like
Grant.
flying, like, do you know what I mean?
Trajectory,
We
yeah.
win that. Yeah, Grant.
Yeah.
We'll conclude then on 1 game, 7 games, historic
I'm
significance.
the exact same. City, United, for all the exact same reasons.
I think I would give City the once off. I'd give United the 7 games. I have
Would
to
you?
say. Yeah, I think so. I don't think we should write off how good and talented that team was.
Yeah,
and
I'm kind of with you
the
with that
dog
one.
mentality of older players over 7 games. It's like Jordan's Bulls against what would be the Golden State Warriors back in 2016. I don't know. That's just you can't
See,
write
they
those
had
old
a
dogs off,
Jordan.
man.
They had a Jordan. City have Haaland.
Yeah, United didn't really have anyone.
United
like that.
didn't have a Haaland.
Didn't have a marquee.
Didn't have a.
He won us the treble. There's no
He's
one
the
like
man,
that,
you
isn't
know?
there? There actually isn't. Like obviously, Ollie scored the goal, but
Like-
he's not the man.
No, Ollie's not the man.
They just four centre forwards. You got them all the goals really.
And
then
again,
they're
nothing wrong
so
with that
functional.
accumulation. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that accumulation. But like, he's just unplayable.
I think based off the Champions League, the way that they drew the first leg and then bashed them in the second leg would make me think that they just get bashed in the 7 games. The first game might be tight, and
it's
then
the
they
data
just bashed
point you
them.
have, and it's definitely worth looking at. I don't know. I think for football in the 90s, that definitely had more. I'm going to say it had more dog charisma than what will be this
Yeah.
year. I don't think you should write that off over 7 games, because 7 games, and I'm thinking this is probably just hypothetical, but like after 7 games, people get sick and tired of it. People don't want to keep playing, injuries, etc. I don't know. I just feel that over 7 games, United would do it.
Yeah, I'm on the romantic side of, like, when you look at that United didn't have a star player, but they always found a way to win. Like Roy Keane scores
Dogs.
against Juventus,
Yeah.
Giggs just runs the
Yeah,
pitch against
absolutely.
Arsenal.
Great point,
I
Gary.
think
Dogs of
they'll-
talent, yeah.
Great
and I think
point.
Roy Keane was asked about
Yes.
this before with treble teams and that, and he said, "I think we just find a way to beat teams." And yeah, I
I think so too,
think
man.
over 7 ways. Yeah,
I know
7
exactly where
games.
you're coming from. I
Or
just
City
am
could
so
win
impressed
all
by
7
City.
games in a row.
They're just too impressive.
Yeah.
They've got an answer for everything. Do you think Pep couldn't just get into look at United and go, well,
Well,
that's
he
how we
did
break them down?
against with Barca.
Yeah, and just go, that's how we break them down.
It's a good point, man. Yeah, Pep's.
Yeah, we were
Scholes
talking
said
about the
that,
players.
and Rooney said
Pep.
that. The best team they've ever
Right.
played against.
I know who you're going to say. Pep or Fergie.
Fergie.
Oh yeah, Pep. Yeah.
As better manager in a game,
Pepper
like to
Fergie.
manage one of these teams like in a game.
Just Pep or Fergie.
I can't answer that.
It
You
should
need
be
a
Pep.
context.
I mean, he's manager and coach.
Yeah,
He's manager and coach. He's done it everywhere.
won like 11
This
leagues
is
in
his
14
third
seasons.
treble. His
Yeah, but
third treble.
Tinger's gonna put out
How many
about
Premier
the
Leagues?
140 finals.
13 Premier Leagues, one after another after another. I just think that is.
It's unbelievable.
Sure, Pep has 11 leagues and 14 managing seasons.
Yeah, but he won a 6. Look at Barca now.
Well, may I say,
Okay,
Kinger,
yeah.
Pep still has another 20, 30 years of football left if he
Yeah.
wants it.
No, that could happen. Yeah, you're right.
Is
It
he
could
not
happen.
near Fergie's numbers anyway at the minute?
He probably is going to overtake Fergie's
Yeah,
numbers
yeah.
because he's so young. Or well, he's not young, but
I
because
could see him just going, take a break down.
So do I, man.
Maybe.
I actually think so too.
He's pretty much completed football right now. He's got 3 trebles.
He needs to go to like
Portugal.
a League
Or
1
Spain,
team or
sorry,
League
Spain.
2 team and just like
He needs to do it with a bottom team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love
If he done
that.
that, it would be so
If he done
impressive.
that, I'd never ever
Leeds United or
knock him
something.
imagine the
again.
boys got him in Wrexham or something.
I'd never knock him again.
Wouldn't that be like there?
Fergie done that.
Cool, like.
Fergie done that with Aberdeen.
Yeah, you're that's
One of
almost
the
your marquee
European
That's
point.
where
Yeah.
where he started, yeah.
Yeah.
Fergie done
Europeans.
Yeah, no,
that.
you're right.
Mourinho
You're
done
right.
that with
Yeah.
Porto.
Yeah.
Do it, Pep. Just do it.
Imagine
Take it.
Wrexham.
Take Brighton or
That's a
something.
business idea for Randolph and the boys.
What would be a project for him? Like
Brighton, I think.
Brighton.
Yeah. They're similar enough, aren't they? They'd be
Yeah.
all like.
Would that be
let's
hard?
go for
Would
it.
you say? Well, if you took them to what, win something?
Do you think he could win the Champions League at Brighton?
Not Champions League. I think he'd get them top 4 regular, I'd say. I'd say if he went for like 4 years, he'd get top 4 pretty much every year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can I say it was
I think so.
actually-
Like, because obviously they came 6th this year, but it'd be interesting to see what they're
Yeah.
like next year.
Can I just say, it was actually refreshing to see 2 teams get European football where it wasn't like, ugh.
Yeah,
It's usually like
yeah.
United and Spurs and we're like, ugh. And everyone slags us for playing Thursday night.
Newcastle.
Whereas like Brighton and Villa were buzzing. Do you ever see here any interviews
Newcastle
with
as
Villa
well.
players? Remember reading athletic articles and basically since Emery came in, he's like, we're getting European football. And they've all been like, here, we're like 15th. What are you talking about? And every week he's just like, we're getting European football. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
He's top.
Yeah,
He is.
I
Do you
love,
think-
you love an Emery, don't you? I'd say?
He's
Do you think
top.
Emery's in the
He's
top
good.
grade now for managers?
He's not like Pep Klopp, but he's
I think he's like
he's in-
Mourinho and
I
that
think
he's
he's tier
better with
two.
the
Is he
teams
tier
like
1
that.
B?
He's tier 2.
yeah,
He's tier 2.
yeah,
that
he's
tier
not
Tier
like
1. Tier 1's Pep.
tier 1's like Pep,
Pep.
Klopp.
Would you put Tommy in there? Tommy Tuchel?
Nah, he's
Carl.
he's Conte and the boys. I think they're just
So
all below.
he's tier 2.
Yeah, they're all tier
So you're
2.
having Emery in there as well.
Is Conte and the boys? Conte's tier 1.
See,
Is
I'm
he
kind of
tier
thinking
two?
Pep and Klopp like Ronaldo, Messi, and then everyone else is a bit below them.
Pep. And where's Fergie? He's top.
Oh, I mean current manager. Sorry,
Current
that's what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
current managers.
Yeah, I'm talking current.
Is Mourinho up there?
Oh, he's tier 2. He's below them boys. Like.
He was up there.
Oh,
And you're saying he's fallen?
I think he's
Did you
up
say
one.
he got relegated?
I think he's got to be
Oh,
one.
Was he
over
ever
his-
up there?
sorry,
Was he ever up
yeah,
there?
yeah, over his career.
He's got to be one.
So we'll say over his career, current managers. Yeah, we'll say top there is
What?
Pep, Klopp,
Mourinho.
Jose.
Yeah, Jose. Sorry.
Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah,
Ancelotti.
Don
Okay,
Ancelotti.
yeah. Put throw Ancelotti.
them
up
kind
there.
of boys. Then under that is your Conte, Tuchel.
Tuchel.
Like you can argue maybe a Ten Hag, Arteta, maybe them lads.
Poch is 3.
Yeah, I'd have
Whoa. Whoa.
What's Poch done? Champions League final?
Would you have Emery or Poch?
With Spurs?
I think Ten Hag's a 3 at the moment. There's lots to prove.
Sorry, I was just throwing names.
Well, a Champions League semi-final with Ajax, but I don't know.
And also,
I put Ten Hag and
also-
Poch and same in 3, yeah. And I'd probably put Emery in and around between 2 and 3.
Brighton's gaffer.
Apart
Probably
from
is
that,
3 at the minute, yeah.
4. I think it's 4.
Poch getting to a final, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Lucas Moore just clutched up at the end,
Yeah.
right? But they were never even competing in that final.
I can't even remember. It was.
And where did they
that
come in
was
the league?
worst
I'd like
final
to.
ever,
That's what I'm
actually.
saying. It was
Remember
just
that was.
because they were Pox.
But they were competing. It was like there wasn't much in it. It was
Yeah.
just a nothing.
It was Pox.
It was a very bad game.
For what that season was, I think Poch just got like he got put. It's like an arse or like a rock went up his arse. He went Mars after it as a manager
Yeah.
in terms of
Did
like
he win?
rep.
Right away for a long time after that.
Did he win the league in PSG?
Surely. You can't. No, did they not lose it to
I think they might have
Montpellier or
lost
one
it,
of them?
yeah.
No.
I think he might have lost.
Or
it.
Right.
Nice.
He's tier 5.
Lille. I feel like he did lose it.
I think he'd do well at Chelsea.
I think he will as
think-
well. But
That's
He
the
won't
worst
do
job he
them
could
worse.
take. I think Chelsea's the worst job he could take at this
No,
stage.
the young squad now. I think he'll do well.
Players coming out of that.
Like, for Finn's sake, anyway, look at poor Finn.
I think he will start well, and I think he'll struggle.
Back to Emery anyway. I think Emery's top.
Is he
Tier
better than
2.
Poch?
Tier 2. Oh, definitely.
If I wanted one of them to take
On the
United right
basis
now,
of
I would say
leagues.
European
Well,
football.
European football, but also
won everything.
every
If
club he
it was
Not
goes
everything.
to.
Sorry, won.
Poch, yeah.
He's won like things. He's won European
Well,
trophies.
first of all, he's won European trophies, but like I'm looking at Emery team going, that's an Emery team. I'm looking at Poch going, what is his style?
I don't know. Man.
Emery
What's his
took
style?
Villarreal
I
to
think of the
semi-final.
Southampton team where he was a bit top, and then they went Spurs and they were knocking it about a bit. Wanyama bossing it.
Yeah, you look at. I agree.
Knocking
you,
it about.
You're looking at an Emery
Emery's
team.
won like 4 Europa Leagues.
He's had more jobs than Emery. Emery's had a few. Emery done worse in the Prem.
He had one
Before the
year
season.
also coming in straight after Wenger, like Moyes did with Fergie.
Yeah.
You can't. The next person you bring in after a manager like that is
He's
your
always
dust.
gonna fail.
Like whoever comes into City after Pep is dust for a year.
Yeah, factorial, man.
And Emery just got stitched up with that.
Yeah.
I would say, because I don't think Moyes is a bad manager, but obviously he went to United, a car crashed him for a few years. But he won something.
I've also seen Moyes' sessions. They're quality on YouTube and all. Really, really good. Underrated, David Moyes.
Where is
Any
he?
opinion?
2 or 3?
Well, he has a European trophy now.
Still think he's 3 though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 3. That's what I thought the debate was, 3 or 4.
No, he's 3.
Yeah, it's a good.
Well,
Brendan
fair.
Rodgers, Gary.
I'm not
3.
a fan. Not a Brando man.
3.
Are you not? I have Brendo above Moyes.
Brendan would be
Fight
4
with
or
yourself.
5 down there. like.
I love Moyes. I love Moyes.
I
I,
love
don't know
Moyes,
why
man.
I'm throwing that out there. I've never ever once thought in my head, yeah, Brendo over Moyes. But I just said, you know what?
Nah, Brando was
See what you have to say about it.
like
He was that close to being a Premier League winner. That close. Gerrard wore the wrong boots and he didn't win the Premier League.
Well, Joe all about Gerrard and all, yeah?
Yeah.
Just get back in the game.
After that,
I have an interest.
Get back in the game.
I have an
It wasn't like it was
interest
the last
in
minute, last kick in. Get back in the game and win it.
Yeah,
It's
I have
tough
an
though,
interesting
yeah.
thing on that. I listen to a podcast, and I talk about Rodgers. One of the things he does with, or did anyway, then was he would try to think of ways to get his players like up for games. And what he'd do is, I think it's something to do with letters. They get like family letters written about them, and they read them out the day of the game. And like some people
one
would
each or
argue,
something, isn't it? I
yeah,
heard
like
that,
some people, psychologists argue that you're overstimulating your players because you're making them
Yeah.
so emotional. Clutch end of the season. That Chelsea game, Gerrard's was read out, and he goes out and does that.
I heard that.
So
yeah,
people
yeah.
could argue that he was.
I would say that would
over
overstimulate
aroused,
me.
so to speak.
That
to
would
go
overdo
into it.
me. If someone read that to me
Yeah.
before a game, I'd be like, you know what I mean? You'd be
I'm
real
gonna
like,
win.
yeah.
Yeah,
You would definitely get
then is
overstimulated.
that which is interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I think
I'm
B.
not a
Rog.
massive Brendan fan, to be honest.
Really?
Although winning the FA Cup with Leicester is very good in fairness,
I
and
forgot
it's not
he done
his
that.
fault that
I
they
forgot
were
he
really
done that.
pony
He
this
what?
year. I
He
would
won
say.
the FA Cup with Leicester.
Yeah.
Do you think it's not his
I
fault
did forget.
majority wise?
They just got bad with the COVID and the
Leicester?
whole, the money. Like
They had no money when they came.
Leicester shouldn't have let
They're
go
an,
of Casper
they're an
Schmeichel.
airline, aren't they? The crowd who the money in Leicester's all that airline.
When your man
And
died.
obviously,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
and
tough.
all the COVID stuff.
The-
Sure,
yeah.
they
Yeah,
never
it's
really
sad.
opened. So I
Yeah,
don't think
they-
that's his fault.
this-
I actually blame players for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
where it's
this
like,
summer they
get your
just-
stuff together.
They just were like,
They
right,
didn't
we'll
back
sell
it at all.
Casper.
Yeah.
And then we're like, right, we're a bit average now.
yeah, that
He came
was
out and said that as
horrific
well at the
decision.
start. He was like, I have no money. I can't sign anyone. I don't know what you want me to do. He came out and said that like publicly, basically.
Yeah, I remember that. It was such a random. It was like Leicester went from a
But they weren't even that bad at that time.
Just a sixth or eighth.
Yeah.
Good, have a good year. And then they were
Car
like, do
crash.
you know what? We're going to be a bit average this year.
Yeah.
And you get punished.
The
Like,
keeper thing was the.
you get punished. It's silly.
Oh.
Danny
Like,
Ward.
Danny
one of your
Ward.
biggest leaders going, and yeah, Jesus,
Bring in someone who's at least defined or is at
Yeah.
least like it looks like a young prospect. Danny Ward is never going to be that.
And then they finished it with Iverson or something. Neumann,
And then
Iverson.
that centre half, the curly head fella, God bless him, he had the 2 own goals against Liverpool.
Faust
He's
or whatever.
so poor, lads.
Yeah,
He's so poor.
yeah, they had a bit of a car
That
crash.
backspin on goal.
But you look at a team that like,
Like Roy Keane
yeah. Teams like that who like need to replace the keeper. Like if that's West Ham, they getting like a Fabianski or not. What's your man's name? Who's a keeper? It is Fabianski, isn't it?
In West Ham?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fabianski.
Just they getting someone
He's
like that
played
who's
up.
just like
Does he play?
a good
Like
goal.
Navas at Notts Forest.
Yeah,
Areola
like,
plays.
but Navas is top. That's a mad signing. But
Do you reckon United will go after Navas? Apparently, Ten Hag said in his last interview that De Gea does not have a spot next year. I didn't
Yeah.
see the interview now.
I
Which he
have
shouldn't.
been backing, before we finish, I've been backing the hair to the helms.
Butter.
And a couple of weeks towards the end, I was like, okay, I see, whatever. I'm not going to ride the media hype. And then the FA Cup final came around, and I was like, I can see why we are never going to bridge this gap.
the City
I
second
didn't
choice
watch
keeper.
that.
City second choice
was
goalkeeper
unbelievable.
was zipping. Whatever about distribution, but like as in finding people's feet. Maybe not the Hayes game, but just set back them and he just needs to clear it flat. How many times did we turn the ball over in that FA Cup final just because the Hay couldn't clear it? And then he was Hugo Butler for ages as well.
Yeah.
You can't make the mistakes that he makes as consistently as he was doing towards the end of the year and not have another alternative and be good at something else, i.e. be good with your feet.
Yeah.
His whole thing is shot stopping. You stop that, you're no longer a goalkeeper.
I had too many blunders in that regard as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. So
I
which treble season is better? The Invincibles are better, obviously.
a spoof.
Oh.
How many
Into the
draws do you
benches.
want? How many draws do you want?
Oh, that's that old
That's
chestnut.
what someone's gonna beat that. I can't wait to see someone beat that. Someone will
that's
beat
the
that.
one,
Well,
yeah.
not
It's
beat it. but
seriously
match it.
impressive, obviously. Like, wow, to not get beaten.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, like what's more impressive, to win 37 games and lose one, or like whatever, win like 30 odd, draw
Great point.
like 8 of them
37 wins.
and
All
lose
day.
one.
37 wins and lose one, yeah.
That'd be so heartbreaking losing that one. Though. You'd be so
Isn't that like
annoyed.
Matt Letizia? Didn't he miss? Was it one penalty he missed in his career, or maybe he missed more than
Was
one?
it?
I feel like he has like a record where he's like 40 something.
And Ryan Giggs never got sent off.
We end this one about treble winners.
Yep. 12:30 a.m.
Jingo.
Guys,
Good jingo.
bye bye.